So guys, this is an interesting vehicle because as we know, and I'm sure these brands hate it when we keep on making these comparisons, but I like to think like a consumer, and to me, a consumer is going to ask themselves, you know, the Urban Cruiser, the Brezza, there were similar cars. Now we know we've got the Urban Cruiser and Grand Vitara. The one launched last week, the other one launched the week after and all that. What's changed and what do you guys like about this new Urban Cruiser?
So the new Urban Cruiser is, unlike the outgoing one, it's a completely new look. I love the design, the chromed grille, the LED DRLs which work as dual function indicators. It just looks amazing.
Yeah.
When you're looking from the back, you get those C-shaped taillights and a sporty boot spoiler. It's a good thing to look at. They made a completely new car and it's now more boxy or rugged looking. It's modern, sleek and very sporty.
Super stylish.
Very stylish.
You're a tall man, so it'd be interesting to get your perspective on
Yes,
how it works from a dimensions perspective.
Yeah, it fits quite comfortably inside there. Driving it was pretty comfortable. I mean, we took it through the roads of Paarl, which are beautiful. You know, you can't complain about that at all. But yeah, we had obviously opportunity to go through in the manual and the auto. Yeah, the manual's good. It shifts nicely. It drives really smoothly. I think they put a lot of effort into making the gearbox and all of that more advanced. And then hopping into the auto, again, also just as easy and nice to drive, but it's a 4-speed auto. It was a 5-speed manual.
But I often find it's tricky when it comes to normally aspirated small crossovers and automatic gearboxes. For me, they tend to be a bit like sluggish because the car doesn't have a lot of power to begin with. So what would you prefer? Do you prefer the manual? Do you prefer the auto? What did you think, Blessing?
Personally, I preferred the manual. The manual, I could just get the right gear every time I want. And
when you need it.
When I need it, immediately I get it. And that 77 kilowatts, 138 Newton meters, it's not the fastest or sportiest of car, but it's just enough. I feel like it's just enough. It's a larger car as well. It's very spacious, but I feel like the manual was very fun to drive.
So would this work for like a young upcoming family that wants to, you know, go on holiday, put the kids in, put the dogs in? Does it work from that application as well?
Yeah, I think that it should. With the new bigger body style, I think there's like an extra 25 liters of boot space from the outgoing model. So you've got a lot more boot space there. Space in the back is also quite good. Again, I'm tall and I fit quite nicely even in the back seats with my driving position. My knees weren't dried up against the seat either. So I think you have more than enough space back there.
Now consumers, you know, I wonder how the derivatives work because it looks like Toyota's got a slightly simplified range that you can choose from when it comes to this Urban Cruiser, whereas Suzuki's got a bit more choice when it comes to the Grand Vitara. I know there are similar vehicles, but ultimately, do you think consumers, what are they going to look out for? What do you think is the best bang for buck? Not just talk about those guys, but as a whole in that segment.
So I think the Urban Cruiser is actually a very sensible package. I'd like to put it that way. For 329,000, you are getting into the XS, and for 369,000, you're getting into the top spec XR automatic. But for that price, the safety features, the space, the driving comfortability, it feels well planted as well. So I think a very sensible package, 6 airbags, so you're safe as well in the XR spec. So yeah.
But do you think that this is top of the pops when it comes to it and its rivals, or do you think that there's something out there that other people might consider over it?
Sure. I mean, they've given us such an appealing package that I think that it's obviously should be top of mind for most people. That price point, I mean, I don't even think people expected it to be slightly cheaper than the entry-level Suzuki version of this either, which it is. So I think that surprised them as well.
Are they going to introduce like a 4-wheel drive variant? As we know, Suzuki's got a 4-wheel drive variant, but do you think that they're going to give us a bit more from a spec option? Did they actually allude to any of that at the launch of the car?
I actually don't think so, because Toyota planned to place the Urban Cruiser as how you can enter the entry level into a SUV. And then once you want more features, more 4-wheel drive, that's when we get into the Corolla Cross.
Okay, so they don't want to cannibalize the other vehicles.
They made that quite clear.
Smart.
They made that very clear.
But overall, you guys were happy with the new Urban Cruiser. Do you think it's going to light up the sales chart as the previous model did?
Exactly. Watch the numbers. I think they're going to tell a story, yeah.
100%.
At that price, they're going to sell.
Yeah.
To sell.
It is Toyota after all, and we know that in South Africa, we love ourselves a Toyota.